Okay, I want to talk to you today about the textbook, the syllabus, and the information in Blackboard. One of the reasons I'm doing new lectures is because there is a new edition of the textbook. If you've got one that has Run the Country on it, that's the 4th edition. You need the 5th edition, Communication to Survive the Zombie Apocalypse. The concept started with a shift from point-based assessment to competency-based assessment. I don't have any points in this class. Somebody asked at 11 o'clock, are there extra points for going to convocation? I said, sure, I'll give you 50 points. I don't care, because I don't have points. We have skills or competencies that you learn. You use those competencies to accomplish a task. You do certain tasks, and you move up to the next level. It's a game concept. When I first shifted to competency-based assessment, the biggest complaint from students was, I really never knew what my grade was. The game metaphor was a response to that. You should always know what your grade is based on what tasks you have completed and what level you're on. If you look at, oh, by the way, some people have said the bookstore's out of books. If you look online at the inventory, it shows they're out of books because that's not updated. They have a huge stack of these, and they are $19.25. So it's going to be one of the cheapest textbooks you buy. But everything in it is going to be used because it's written specifically for this course. And all the things you need, like your evaluation sheets and your assessments, are included in the book. The book is also available in Blackboard. If you go to course content, under course content, you'll see all the chapters of the book. If you like reading digitally or downloading them in PDFs, they're available there. If you do that, you do need to print off the OER guide. It's Open Education Resources. It's a movement for free textbooks. So if you use the free book, you need to print this off, staple it, or put it in a 3-ring binder where all these are together, because this includes your evaluation sheets and some introductory material that you will need throughout the semester. And I might ask you to refer back to an evaluation that a speech you've already done. And what I found is people don't bind these together, and they're loose leaf, they fall out, and they lose them, and, well, I don't have that. Well, you need that. And sometimes you need that because maybe I forgot to write your grade down, and I said, well, you haven't done speech 2C. Yes, I have. I've got it right here. You evaluated it. Oh, show it to me, and I'll write it down. Well, I've lost it. And you can't go back and evaluate your progress, which we'll have to do at the end of level 3, unless you have those sheets. So they're going to help you. The speeches that we do, if you look on page 9, you have the textbook. It shows you all the assignments for all the levels. These build on each other. So you need to do them one at a time and in order for this to work best. Level 1 really aren't even speeches. Those are just activities that we will use in level 2 speeches. Actually, everything in level 1 is an attention getter. And if you read chapter 2, there's a section on attention getters and how they're used and why you might pick one or the other. And we'll talk about that in the lecture on chapter 2. But we'll warm up with some of these activities. So your first assignment for Thursday is to bring to class one clean joke. And I bet everybody in here has told a joke, right? Anybody that hasn't told a joke? Okay, so it's nothing new. You're just doing it from up here instead of out there. So there's a little something there, but it's something you should be kind of comfortable with. Sometimes people say, how do you define a clean joke? Rule of thumb, is this a joke you'd tell my mother? I don't know your mother. Well, then you should be a little safe with that. If you're not sure, don't tell that one. The other thing is, we don't tell jokes about a group of people unless you're a member of that group. I made an exception that way. So if I want to know this great blonde joke, I'm not blonde, so I can't tell a blonde joke. But I could say, well, this gray-haired guy walked into a bar. That'd be okay because I'm a gray-haired guy. It's probably safer just not to tell that joke and find another one because there are lots of clean jokes out there. If you don't have one, Thursday I have a big envelope of Bob Phillips's big book of clean jokes. Most of them are not funny jokes, but they're clean jokes. Doesn't have to be funny, by the way. Just it's material that you're going to tell the class. You don't want to offend the class right off the bat, so go with the safe joke. But you can Google, get your phone out, Google clean jokes. There's a huge list. You can find something you can work with, I'm sure. If you're nervous, pick a short joke. So work with that. We'll talk about some of the delivery issues on jokes on Thursday. But at this point, just find a joke. After you tell your joke, you can mark that off on page 9. That's completed. Level 1, we're really not even doing speeches yet in level 1. So you haven't earned any grades. So you still have an F, technically. But you can level up to level 2 and start working on a D. In level 2, there are 3 speeches and 3 very simple outlines. These are things that anybody can do. But I've said, in my mind, if you are a D public speaker, you should be at least able to do these simple things. So if you do those, all of them completely, it's not 60%, it's 100%, but they're very simple speeches and very simple outlines. So if you can do those, you check those off, you level up to level 3, and you've got a D, and you're working on a C. If you do the 3 speeches and the 3 outlines on level 3 at 100%, you can check those off, you've got a C, you level up to level 4, and you're working on a B. Some people say, man, I just wanted a C. You've got a C. If you get to level 3 and it's completed, you have a C regardless of whatever else you do the semester, even if it's nothing. My hope is that you'll say, I got a C, it's midterm, I got plenty of time, kind of having fun in the class, maybe I'll just hang out a little bit longer and see if I can get a B, because I can probably get a B, yeah. Getting a B and an A, level 4 and 5 are not 100%. It kind of moves back to that 80%, 90% scale. Because if you want to be, you're saying that I am a fairly good public speaker with most of the skills you have given me. I can use most of them accurately, effectively, well. If you want an A, you're saying I can use most of the skills in this book consistently. In an informative speech, in a persuasive speech, I can use most of these skills. I got them. I got this. So that's what an A is looking for. Now, I want my D, I'm trying to get this 3rd speech out, this commemorative speech, speech 2C. I didn't get everything on it. I didn't get full credit. What do? You get your feedback, because feedback is over on page 34. Here's the evaluation sheet for the 2A, 2B, actually 35 for 2C. Here's the evaluation sheet for 2C. If you don't have something checked, you didn't do that, fix it. Put that in your speech, put that in your outline, do it again, get credit for it. Now you level up. So you get to choose what grade you want. You don't pass, revise, repeat. Kind of like shampoo. Rinse, repeat. So, revise and repeat till you get the level, you get the credit you want, and you get up to the level you want. So if you're doing 2C, you have this book. You'll have your name written on the page before. You'll bring your book to me. I usually sit right there in the center on the back row. You'll bring me your book and your outline. I'll grade your outline. I'll give it back to you. I'll keep your book. You'll come up here and give your speech. I'll grade your speech while you're speaking. When you're done, you come get your speech from me. And you have your feedback. You know if you passed right there. If you didn't, you can ask me, what do I need to do to fix this? We'll talk about it. You can fix it. Maybe get up and do your speech again that period before you leave. It might be that I just need to fix something in my outline. Okay, go write that down in your outline, bring it back to me, I'll check it off, and you're good to go. But you need to have 2C done before you level up to 3A. In speaking classes, which will be at least once a week, we'll come in, we'll say today we're doing speech 2B, and remember you got to do this and this and this. We'll get up and give speeches. Everybody that's ready to go that day will give their speech. I'll grade them. I'll come up and talk about what we did that day with that speech, what you need to add to your speech skills to do the next speech, because each speech builds on the last one. And then you'll go work on that speech. And then probably the next class period, I'll lecture on one of the chapters. But if you happen to miss that day, I wasn't here on the day you guys did 2B, then the next class period, you want to make that up so that you'll be ready to do 2C with everybody else. Now, at some point in the semester, we might have somebody doing the 3C speech, and somebody else is doing the 3B speech, and somebody else is doing the 2C speech. That's okay. You always know what's next. You don't need to ask me, what do I need to do? What you need to do is the next speech. If it's blank, you don't have credit for it, that's what you need to do next. If everybody else is doing 3A and you haven't done 2C, you need to do 2C and get caught up. We will lecture on the chapters, and each chapter has the information you need to do those speeches at the end of the chapter. And again, if you don't, you can go to the lectures online, watch those again, or if you missed that lecture, you can watch that lecture. And then, like I said, that's all down at the bottom. Links to iTunes U are a little bit more dated, unless some people like downloading instead of streaming. And then also in here is syllabus information, which will be the longer version of this syllabus, including the full master syllabus. Sorry about that. And the master syllabus includes some links to things like the weather policy. What's the phone number I call to see if classes have been canceled? All that kind of stuff's in there. So it's good to know where that is. It starts out with the weekly schedule, but the full syllabus comes after that. Things on the syllabus. My name is Gary Phillips. My office is right across the hall. So if you ever need to find me, you can. My office hours are listed there, my phone number and email. The textbook information is there. Where it talks about instructor adaptations, I put that in for our master syllabus for this class. If a dual credit teacher needs to have a point-based system, that's where they would say, well, for my class, we convert to points. For my class, Gary Phillips's class, we'll use the book exactly as it's written. So I just follow it that way. Oh, at the end, by the way, you see this black evaluation sheet for 2C. The next page talks about, it's a red or burgundy sheet. That's the online, talks about online options. We're not going to use the online options, but some of the online teachers will be doing some of those alternate assignments. So don't worry about those, just ignore those. Oh, I was going to show you too, if you print the OER guide, it will look like this. And it also, like I say, has the brief description of the assignments and the evaluation sheets so that you'll have all of those and know what's coming up. Sometimes I'll have people say, I didn't know I had to have an introduction or an attention getter for this speech. Well, if you look at the evaluation sheet, one of the things that has to be checked off is starts with an attention getter. So you know what's required of the speech if you look at the evaluation sheets. Okay. The levels of the book, or the levels of the game, are intended to build on one another. So you come in, any Walking Dead fans? Okay, folks, I've never watched an entire episode myself. I've caught bits and pieces. You know, I like Zombieland and Warm Bodies and some of those that really aren't traditional zombie movies. But if you go back to 9, you can see the levels there. The first level is Survivor. The title of the book is Communication Skills You Need to Survive the Zombie Apocalypse. If there were a zombie apocalypse, what do you have to worry about? Zombies, right? And people. Well, we're not going to worry about zombies because you need machetes and shotguns and things like that to survive the zombie part. But it's the people part that we focus on. So the first thing is, I want to be a survivor. I don't want to get shot. I come up to other people and I want to make them aware that I'm a nice person, that I'm friendly, that I'm not dangerous. So some of these introductory skills, like telling a joke, hey, make them laugh and they don't shoot you. So that's the survivor level. If you get initiated into the group as a recruit, you need to start learning some of the other people so that you work into the group. So the recruit level, you'll be learning some of your classmates. You'll actually be interviewing them for content material and introducing those people to us. As you become a member, then you're going to share other information about yourself with the class so that we start to value who you are as a member of this group. And then the council would be people that do research, that find out information, and that make decisions. So we'll do our major informative and persuasive speeches on those levels. If you are taking IDS 110, or if you've taken it, you've probably seen that poster over there. How many people have seen that poster and had somebody talk about that poster? A few folks. Several years ago, actually before I came, they decided that if you're going to get an associate's degree from this institution, you will leave here with capabilities or skills in communication, critical thinking, information management, valuing, and global awareness. And that classes will teach you some of those things. Not every class will do all 5 of them. Some classes will, like global geography, might focus on global awareness and valuing. Or maybe a little information management too, because you're collecting information. In this class, we're going to work on the top 3: communication, critical thinking, information management, and at different levels. If you look in your syllabus on page 2, it tells you where and what activities you will have those. Valuing and global awareness will depend more on your speech topic choices than what I do in class. But your speech 3C and 4 and 5 require research and presenting that information to us. So that'll be information management. 3C and 5 are problem solving, persuasive speeches. That's critical thinking when you get into problem solution discussions. Obviously, communication is something we're going to do in here. Written, oral, and electronic. You'll have a written outline, an oral presentation, and if you go to level 4, actually some people in level 3 will do a PowerPoint Prezi, maybe have a movie clip, you might have some audio clips or interactive phone discussions. We'll talk about those in chapter 4 more. But if you want to get past chapter 4, you need to do some sort of electronic support with your presentation. And so those are the things we'll focus on for this class.